Hi, I'm Jess Burke, Director of Marketing and Communications at ISHLT, and we are back here in the Employee Spotlight again today. And I have Aaron Adair, the ISHLT Chief Operations Officer, with me. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Jess. Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm going to dive right in and start with a couple of questions about your work with ISHLT. I know you've been with the Society since 2020, and if you wouldn't mind, why don't you tell us in a nutshell what you do for the Society?
Sure. Well, most of my time is spent on operations, as it's in my title, COO. That means I manage human resources and things like ensuring safe cybersecurity environment, but I also have responsibilities to the organization's membership and recruitment and retention and some other areas. So it's a really nice mix of things that I really enjoy working on.
Yeah, I feel like you're one of the first faces for the Society, both internally and externally. And I think that suits you. Um,
Thank
so why don't you tell me what makes your work with ISHLT rewarding?
Sure. Well, association management in general, and the society is no exception, is a very detailed type of work. It requires a lot of attention to the minutia. And, some people say the devil's in the details, but that's kind of where I live. I really enjoy diving deep into issues and problems and challenges and coming up with solutions. It's kind of like assembling a thousand-piece puzzle and getting to see your work over and over again. And I really enjoy it.
So could you describe the ISHLT community for me in 3 words? Now, you've had a little more time than me to get to know this group. Why don't you tell me about them?
Sure. Only 3 words?
If you can.
Okay. I guess I'd go with interdisciplinary, impactful, and collegial. I think those are the words that describe who our members are, what they do, and why it matters, and how they network and learn from each other to advance the profession.
I love impactful. I really agree. This organization makes such a difference.
They
Um,
do.
so talking a little bit about you, we've been working remotely for the last couple of years, and not everyone has gotten the pleasure to meet you or to get to know you. Um, Maybe you can tell me a little about yourself. So what's your favorite book right now? What are you reading? What are you enjoying?
Sure, that's a great question. Well, right now I'm reading After the Fall by Ben Rhodes, but that's a little bit of a departure from what I normally enjoy. It's nonfiction, and I prefer fiction, frankly. My go-to authors are Vonnegut and Rushdie and Updike. I also enjoy reading plays. Edward Albee and Tony Kushner are two of my favorites. They always have something provocative to say. So that's kind of a hobby for me, reading.
That's awesome. And as you probably know, I'm an ex-English major, so we should probably do a little book exchange at some point.
We certainly should, as long as you return the books.
I will, absolutely.
Okay, thank
I
you.
do have a small stack of books to return, but I'm going to blame the pandemic for
Me too.
that. So tell me a little bit, one more question. What's the best advice you've ever received, professional, personal, or otherwise?
That's a really easy question. My first car was a 1976 Triumph Spitfire, which is a very small British convertible and an absolutely terrible car if you want to go anywhere. It averaged about 20 miles between breakdowns. And I suspect that my dad helped me buy that car because he wanted to teach me about auto mechanics. He was a mechanical engineer. But as we worked to diagnose and fix whatever was broken, I got some of the best advice from him in that process. He said, always look for the simplest solution, and then work your way to the more complex issues. So in other words, check the spark plugs before you rebuild the carburetor. And that was really good advice. And it's amazing how often that method of diagnosing and fixing problems and issues works beautifully. So thanks, Dad.
And it sounds like the perfect advice for someone who's ends up dedicating their career to operations and process to get at a young age.
I think so. I can't thank him enough for that one lesson among many, but that's the one that stands out to me.
I think that's going to stick with me too. Well, thanks for joining me today, Aaron. It's always great to chat with you, and I know our members will appreciate getting a little peek inside your brain. Is there anything else you want to share with the ISHLT community before we go?
Sure. Well, I think first and foremost, I can't wait to meet everybody in Boston. And then second, thank you for all you do. You're improving lives everywhere, and that makes my job supporting you just that much more important. And I thank you for doing what you do.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.